Two bears, one cave.
I'm so nervous to sit here with you right now because I haven't seen you since the accident, and I have so many feelings when I see you because we've been through. It's like we've been in the trenches together, Bert. And
we'll tell everyone so they don't know. If anyone doesn't know, if you're living under a rock, what Christina is saying is, my bestie, her husband,
I'm gonna cry already.
Had a pretty aggressive accident. I will say that I saw it happen, and it took me a few days to get over it.
I can't even look at you right now. I'm gonna start crying already.
It was
because I haven't even been able to cry because I've been like
in go mode
in triage, like since you and came over, and then like it's just been nonstop. It's been a nightmare, and I'm so grateful to you guys to come. Like when you came over that night was like I was in shock. I didn't even know what to do. So I'm so grateful for you. Sorry. See, I knew this would just all come out. You're just sitting here.
But you know what? This is what I love about this show is that it's everything.
Ugh.
And it was intense. It was beyond intense. It was an intense experience. And what fucked me up is it happened in a second.
Ugh.
It happened in a second, and it went from fucking giggles, ball busting to literally call 911.
Oh my God.
And it was absolutely terrifying. I gotta be real honest. You need to know this because I was very helpful for the next 24 hours, but I walked out of the goddamn fucking room. When it happened, I left him. I left him, and I looked at everyone. I was like, I'll call Christina. And I went outside, and the door locked behind me, and I was like, I can't get any more. I guess he's going to deal with this on his own. Christina?
Well, because didn't Tom give you a job? Like it was call 911 or call my wife.
No, he said call 911, and then he looked at me and he said call Christina, and I was like, as opposed to turn your arm so it's facing where everyone should see it. I want to tell everyone we have a live show New Year's Eve, and on New Year's Eve, the video that we planned this whole time, we planned to do a basketball sketch, a competition just like tennis. For the New Year's Eve show, I'm going to tip the hat a little bit. We got Tristan Jass. Really excited. We got Tristan Jass to come out, and we did a sketch. Not a sketch, but like we did something for basketball, just like we did with tennis. We tried to make it better because we didn't feel like tennis really delivered, and it didn't on time. By the way, I'm 2-0, just so everyone knows. Just kidding. Wait till you see the video. Wow, Tom's not great at these athletic sketches.
Fuck. So don't even talk about the video because the night that it happened, Lindsay came over, the producer who was filming it. And I was waiting for you and Leanne to come over, and Tom was just in the ER. And he goes, do you want to watch it? And I was like, hold on. And I got a glass of wine. And I was like, glug, glug, glug.
And if I'm not mistaken, Lindsay was like, give me a beer.
Yeah.
Because I can't watch this sober.
Yeah, so you're right. I forgot about that. My kids are upstairs asleep, thank God. And I start to watch it, and I look away, and I start crying. Immediately, I was like, I can't do this. This video is so horrible. And I can't even imagine, like, even just the sounds of it. Have you ever seen Grizzly Man? Like, remember they're like, when Herzog gets to listen to Grizzly guy get eaten, and he's like,
we're selling tickets for the New Year's Eve live event like fucking crazy. Please cut that clip out. What was Tom's fall like? Have you ever seen Grizzly Man?
By the way, guys, YMHstudios.com/livestream to get your tickets for the live show.
Grizzly Man.
Well, remember when Werner Herzog's listening and they don't play the audio, you get to see his face, and he was like, never listen to this audio ever. And that's how I felt.
I was there and the acoustics delivered just as it was intense. It was intense. I heard an old baseball player, Buck O'Neill, say 3 times in his life. He said, I heard Babe Ruth hit a home run. I heard, and he goes, and that sound Babe Ruth hit, I'll never forget that sound.
The cracking of the bat.
Yeah. Then I saw Josh, the catcher who played in the black leagues back in the day, Josh Gibson. He goes, I heard Josh Gibson hit it, and I said that's the same sound. And then I thought, I'm watching this yesterday. I thought he goes, and then Tom Segura. He said Bo Jackson, but I wanted him to go, Tom Segura.
Same thing.
It was such an intense. And Leanne goes, I remember Leanne was like, I want to see the video. I said, you really don't. You really don't. It is. But here's what's crazy is I'm sure Tom has watched the video 150 times.
Has he?
I mean, I'm certain he has. I know that.
I don't know.
I mean, it was so intense.
Here's the thing is that you and I are such retards that between the two of us, like our thinking was not clear. And Leanne was the only one who was like, you and I were like, okay, how are we going to get him upstairs? And then we're like, wait, we can't bring him upstairs. Let's get a wheelchair. Okay. Like we've already planned out. You went and bought him snacks.
I bought him snacks. I bought him calcium, vitamin D. I bought him everything. I went to you know what? But my brain works sometimes because I bought a lifting belt. Do you remember that? I went to I love getting given in emergency situations. I like getting direction. And you said he's gonna need something. I forget what you said. Can you go to Rite Aid? He's gonna need something. I forget what it was. But you were like a real direction, like.
Oh, we need a chart. We need an extension. We
needed an extension cord.
Okay, here's what happened though. Okay, so let me phrase it. So there was a point where Tom was injured. He has a broken arm. His knee is just not moving. And we have to get him into our house, into our basement, and then the next day get him to the orthopedist. And this is a guy who can't move. I can't lift him.
You need to put perspective on the fact that
oh my God,
anything that would help you move is broken on him.
Yeah, he can't, and it's both the same side. So he can't use crutches. He can't do shit.
It's the same side, so you can't throw a crutch under that arm. And so it was, we got to a certain point where we're like, so you're cool living here for like 3 years, right? And I like, I'm very careful because he said some fucking hilarious shit during all of this that he did not find funny at the time. He was not laughing. He was not laughing at all at so many. I mean,
oh my God,
so much of this was so comical. Tom doesn't like being recognized. And so I want to save it all for Tom to tell because it's his story and I was just there to witness it. I will just safe to say that when someone says to Tom, who's got a broken arm, broken leg, and he's in a wheelchair strapped into a van that smells like cigarettes, and he goes, so what do you do for a living? The last thing Tom wants to tell him is what he does.
Yeah.
And the second to last thing Tom wants is me next to him going, we're comedians. Tell me a joke.
You did not.
Tell me a joke.
That's the fucking worst.
There was so much of this. He was making me laugh so hard at certain times. And there was so much. By the way, I have to say, shout out to every fucking nurse out there, every doctor, every PA. I don't know all the things. EMTs. I talk about perspective. I walked out of that hospital that day and I was emotional, thinking these people are legit, like dealing with me and Tom, right? But they're also dealing with COVID and they're dealing with all these stresses and they're getting through it and they're making us feel comfortable when it's them that I'm worried about. And I said to this
and they're working in the ICU with COVID patients. Do you realize what kind of person that is that goes, oh, that's where the horrible thing is happening? Let me go there. That's not me.
It's not.
I'll be like,
definitely not me. I saw a dude with COVID walk in, and I went, are we going to light him on fire? Like, what the fuck? Dude, this poor guy, eyes like this, Mexican dude, probably 65, right? I mean, out of it. And then I heard didn't speak any English, and his daughter, I'm saying daughter because she was younger and Mexican, but the person who was like, he didn't have a mask on, and they had to put a mask on him, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the problem with this disease. The communication has not been spread everywhere, and this guy is maskless going like, how did I get sick? Like, literally, you could see it in his eyes, like, and they're like, she's like, his temperature's 102, I'm pretty sure it's COVID.
Oh my
and he doesn't have a
God.
mask on, and everyone's like, what
are
the
you
fuck?
doing?
And then she put a mask on him, and he just kept pulling it down. And she's like, papi, or I'm making that up, but whatever. She was like, oh, mira, papi.
Ay, papi, no.
Que facha en boca y nosa. And he was like, que do.
Fuck. I'm all fucked up. It's COVID.
I'm full. Hey, I'm full. God damn it. This COVID got me tripping, Holmes. Where's little monster? I'm sure that's racist.
Probably. Oh. Listen, man.
I keep pushing the table back and putting the mic into your mouth, and you're like, what is this, college again?
Hey, you know what's really great about Tom's injury? The one plus side? It's not blowjob season anymore.
Oh,
I'm out of that for at least 2 weeks, dude.
Oh,
Like, we've been joking about it when I go visit him. I'm like, you want me to give you a BJ? And he's like, babe. Like, he can't even
like,
get
I
up to
shit in 7 days. By the way, and I'm just setting up great Tom stories. When he does tell you the story about shitting, I was crying laughing.
So horrible.
It's so funny because it goes back to the difference between Tom and Leanne and me and you. Is like, someone said to me something like, when's Tom made you laugh the hardest? And I go, oh, it's never when he's trying to make me laugh. It's when he's being himself and he doesn't know he's being funny, and he just says something like does a double take and looks at someone and then looks at you, and you're like,
yeah.
I was fucking crying laughing that whole ER. There was a woman, this is a part of the story that I think is fair to share. So they take Tom in to go get x-rays, and they leave me in Tom's fast track room. A fast track room is just a room that's secluded, but it's got a curtain, and you're with 9 other fast track people, but you can't see them, but you can hear them, and it's kind of like a fun game show. I don't know why that's not a game show.
Guess the injury. These people are dying of.
It's really great when they speak Spanish and you don't know Spanish totally. So I'm waiting for Tom because I hear this woman crying, right? All I hear is, pero. And I'm like, what? And I'm waiting for Tom to get back. And I'm like going, what the fuck? And then I just hear this woman crying, like screaming Bloody Mary. She's 2 beds down next. And I'm like, I'm listening to this woman. It sounds like they're assaulting her, with like torturing her.
Yeah.
And I'm just going like, someone translate what the fuck happened. And then Tom just rolls in from his x-ray, hears it too, and he goes, someone was attacked by some dogs. And I go, pero. I was like, fuck, where were you earlier? I needed you. And then he told me, he's like, oh yeah, 3 dogs, pretty aggressive. They're cleaning the wounds. You don't hear her? And I'm like, no, I can't speak Spanish, Tom.
Bert and Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.